Maybe Julie's coming in. I want to introduce you to a new mudra. Remember that the hands are all the organs, everything in the body is connected to the hands, all the energy channels. So when we do, yoga poses are mudras of the body, and mudras are often considered poses of the hands. So to wake up our energy for the mudra and for sitting, the whole body, let's see if I can get my notes. Of course, Rumi's sitting on my notes. There's two new things for you. So, one, you can do one exercise throughout the day, and it's going to help all the organs, but throughout the body. So just so I read it, so I make sure I don't miss anything. So one exercise, increase vitality in all your organs, using the webs of the hands. And this includes the brain. Of course, we're working on the brain as an organ, but every organ. So if you're sleepy, sluggish, poor digestion, whatever you got going on, these will help. So basically the webbings of the hands, you're going to take your hands and just like push, interlace your fingers and push in between the webbings. And they're recommending like 30 times, right? But you could do this waiting for water to boil, watching TV, and waking up. So you'll see some of your webbings aren't really getting touched. So we want to do a little bit extra for the thumbs. So then you're going to take your thumbs and get that webbing. So 30 times. Breathing. Feel that hit. There's so many nerve endings in here. Breathing. So the thumbs, we're doing both thumbs. Flip your hands. It looks like one hand facing you, one hand that ended of that. Yeah. I don't know why I couldn't see that, but okay. And then once you do it, see how your hands are? You're going to flip your hands and do it the other way. You'll feel it differently, right? It's a different awakening. But again, you're awakening vitality, stimulating these nerves to invigorate all the organs. You might even notice you're getting more awakened. Oh, okay. Wake up. And then you can also do the individual webbings. You might have noticed when you were doing all of these, all the fingers, your little pinky doesn't get much help. So especially you want to do that pinkies. So taking the spaces between each pinky and working that. You can play directions again, because to me it's a totally different. Can you feel the stretch when you flip them? It's a different stimulation. And you can go through all. You can ring fingers. Talk about twiddly thumb, twiddly do. I bet this helps the nervous system, There's a reason people twiddle their thumbs. Right? We didn't know. But this is actually acupressure type movements. Switching when you're ready. And then just finish by the whole thing. All the fingers. Okay, and just kind of sit with your hands on you like a second and just feel what you got there, the stimulation. There may be some tingling in your palms. Concentrate your awareness on the palms and your breath.
That is so odd. It feels
What?
so good. Like, oh my God.
Does it feel good?
How do you discover these things? Who would have ever thought?
I search for you guys. I try to bring you good, new, fun stuff. Is that great? Okay, so focusing on sensations that is an anchor. So sensations in the body is an anchor, and breath is another anchor. So today we're working on dharana, the ability to concentrate the mind, right? The concentration is like the second step in the meditation to bliss process in yoga. We cannot be mindful. You know, people say, I'm doing mindfulness meditation. You cannot be mindful unless you can concentrate the mind. And with TV and all the images and the social media and we're busy all the time. Our ability to concentrate has diminished, as you know. And then we can't be clear. And if we don't have clarity, we can't live our life's purpose, right? So it's especially as we age, the ability to concentrate, remember, focus, all those things we have to work on or we lose them. So today, one of the mudras for concentrating the mind is the Abhisheka mudra, and it encourages one pointing concentration. So you're going to take both fists and then bring them together. You'll see that the thumbs are touching. And then touch the pads of your index fingers. Can you see? Yes. And then pull those thumbs and snuggle them in between the index fingers. So pull the thumbs in and snuggle the thumbs between the index fingers. Yes, Felicia has it. Yeah. And feel how snuggle that feels. It's like you've heard of, is it a tuning rod, a tuning?
Tuning.
Yeah, it's like tuning fork. Yeah, it's like, okay, never mind. That's how my mind thinks. So we're going to find a comfortable seat and we'll do Abhisheka. So Felicia, you missed the webbing exercise to revitalize bring vitality of all the organs. I can show you that after if you have time. So finding a comfortable seat, again, bringing the fists together, the index fingers together, the thumbs snuggle in. The thumbs snuggle in between those index fingers. And then the mudra comes at your solar plexus. So it's like, this is your power center, and this is like bringing your energy, your power to focus. Allow the eyes to close. So by having your mudra here, it enhances digestion, helping stimulate the energy there. And this mudra also awakens the sixth chakra, the Ajna chakra, the center of wisdom and clear seeing. When you sit tall, of course, your main energy channel awakens. You've awakened all your organs through the first exercise, all your vitality, and now you're stimulating even further. So again, working on dharana, developing concentration skills. Choose your anchor to concentrate for the next just 2 minutes. So you can feel from this mudra, you might feel the sensations or in the hands, or the sensations invoked by the mudra, where you feel touch, where you're touching. You might even start feeling the pulsing of your heart and your fingers. Or you might sense a warmth in your belly. You might feel that the breath, the belly breath actually starts happening naturally because you're invoking the energy here. So choose either one, sensations that you feel from the mudra, or you just follow the breath as your anchor, coming in and out for the next 2 minutes. Developing concentration skills. Notice when your mind comes off your anchor. Gently, lovingly bring the mind awareness back to sensations or breath. Could be the sensations of breathing. That's 1 minute. It's 1.5 minutes. Window. Open. Window. Notice if the mind jumped off your anchor, bring it back.
Where should we be holding our hands?
And when you're ready, releasing your mudra. And just feel. Feel any calmness. Door. Open. Door. Feel any calmness that developed in the mind. Or agitation because you're not used to sitting and being focusing your mind. Your mind might be yelling at you because it wants to be in charge. So as we develop the ability to focus the mind for longer periods of time, it creates calm in the mind, and the mind becomes more stable and serene, reduces stress, helps us see more clearly, helps us clarify our life's purpose and vision, get wiser. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Make a commitment as you practice today to choose an anchor. It can be sensations in the body, sensations of being even breathe, or just noticing the breath coming in and out. So your anchor can be your breath, or it can be other sensations like tingling in your hands, like we did in the beginning of class, or how your feet feel, whatever position they're in, sensations of the body. Pick an anchor so that when we pause, you remember to concentrate the mind, to practice strengthening that muscle. Right. Sealing your intentions back to your heart rate. And lifting up. Bring your hands up. Make a fist and circle the wrists. Raising more energy. By opening your armpits. Any comments about the mudras or the webbing work? Any more? Ed, you had a question?
I had a question about where we hold our hands when we're doing that. I've brought them in.
Yeah, so it's right in front of the navel center because we're evolving that.
Okay.
And the other thing I did not cue is when you hold the mudra, you lift your shoulders are back, and then you lift your elbows a little bit, and you can feel a little bit of helps lift the energy to help clear the brain, right?
Okay. So does it touch your solar plexus or not?
It can, but usually it's just a little bit out, like
a little bit out. Okay.
Yeah, because otherwise you might be hunching your shoulders. Right? Elbows can't be by the ribs, right? So for me, it's in front of. Depends on, I guess, the length of your arms and things, but typically you don't touch the body, but I think you could. Right. So coming off your lily pads, come to table. And come to puppy pose. Slide the hands forward as best you can and bring your forehead to the floor or as close, dangle your head. You might have to be on your elbows. I'm trying to melt your heart and ground your mind. Letting the nectar of the heart feed your brain. And then wag the tail from side to side. Feeling the armpits open even further, perhaps. Side bodies opening. Ribs coming out of the hips. Remember, the pelvis is connected to the brain. We need to free the pelvis. When the sacrum is free to move, the brain at the other end of the central nervous system is activated as well. Stimulating the cerebral spinal fluid. and within the spinal column. And the body works more efficiently because of that. All right, coming up, coming to your elbows and to your back, to your belly. In Sphinx pose. So the elbows are under the shoulders, shoulders are back, elbows, the shoulders don't go forward by that elbow crease, the shoulders are back, forearms, upper arms perpendicular to the floor, forearms and hands shoulder width apart. Press the pube bone down and pull your heart forward. Oh, ow. And then lift your hips up and take your head back. Forehead can come to the floor if your shoulders allow it. And then come back to Sphinx. Inhale. Exhale, lift back. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, lift back. Breathing always to the nose as you inhale. Slide out, lay your body down, slide your hips forward. And release your back by rocking your hips from side to side.
Your head on your hands, right? Your head on your hands?
Your head could be on your hands if your shoulders need that, or your hands can be straightforward like a lying down up mountain. Stretching your shoulders. And press the pube bone down and slide your hands by your chest. Forehead's on the floor for cobra. Press down through the pube bone. Just lift up a little bit. Your back's still trying to warm up and cord. Wait. And then press through the hands, lift up, 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 and back to puppy again. That should tell you a lot about your posture.
It's all bad.
If your back hurt, if that was not comfortable, then certainly we need more back bending, more cats and dogs, 6 movements of the spine, all that on a regular basis, so that when you come to yoga, the body's a little bit more prepared. Come back to table and let's just wake up the spine some more. In your cats and dogs, let your heart melt at the gate of the shoulders, put the arms in their sockets. Take the shoulders back towards your hips. Draw your navel into the spine, flattening, making a tabletop. Inhale. And as you exhale, tuck your tail, arch your spine, tuck your chin, and feel that stretch. Pause in the cat tilt. Feel the back of your pelvis. Remember, we're working on the pelvis from the tail to the brainstem. Cervical spine. Lift the tail now. Working from the pelvis, lift the tail. Drop your belly. Drop your heart down to the gate of the shoulders. Shoulders go back and then you lift your head. Focus. Use the rolling through the spine as your sensations. Exhale. Go back, starting with your pelvis tucking, tail tucking. When the breath, so following the breath, rolling through the spine as you inhale, dropping your shoulders go back before you lift your head. Don't crunch your back of your neck. Pause with the breath in. Concentrate, feel sensations in the body. And then tuck your tail, exhale, hold the belly in and up under the ribs, pause, feel. Anchor the mind on sensations in the body. When the urge for breath is strong, not strength, go to the other pose. Pause, feel. Sit in warrior if you in dog tail. Notice what's happening. Focus. Be mindful when the urge for breath becomes strong, not strength, and then respond. Be mindful. So focus first, mindfulness comes after. Then discerning mind. You make the choice of what to do next. Don't just go through life unconsciously, not focused. Good. Tuck your toes if you can. And send your hips back. Stretch your toes. I haven't been stretching my toes and they started getting stiff. So now I've been working on them and now I can tuck them again. So if you can't tuck your toes, then do more like here. You can just take lower. Let's do the more easier one and see if it makes a difference. Come to table again. Take the right foot back. Tuck your toes and stretch those toes. Feel the sensations. Anchor the mind on stretching toes. Calf. Sensations of the body. Always be on your elbows. Roll through the toes a little bit. So let your body go forward and back as you stretch your toes. And leg. Good, and let's do the other side. Noticing the difference. Find a good stretch.
Low calves.
What?
So low calves.
Yeah, hello calves. All right, and then just drop to your elbows. Interlace your hands except the pinkies. Melt your heart. Shoulders back. Bring your knees together. As you exhale, draw the ribs in, but keep the shoulders back. Your head, crown of the head forward. Reach out to that right foot again. Keep your hips square. Your bones square to the floor, and then draw your ribs in. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your heel up. Keeping your toes flexed toward your kneecaps. And gently pulse to higher and higher. Very slow, like a quarter of an inch. Just try to really engage that hamstring and the glutes. Very mindful. Use the sensations of this work to focus your mind. Notice if the mind is like, oh, I have this opinion and that opinion. No, you're just focusing the mind on sensations. Where do you feel the sensation the most? When does the burn start? If you're thinking about your do list or what's going to come next, you're not focused in the moment. You release that and go to the other side. Flexing, extending the foot, tucking your toes, flexing through the heel, lengthening through the heel. Squeeze your glutes, your abs, and then lift straight up without lifting that hip. Notice where you feel what. Very gentle pulsing if you want, just to explore a range of motion and sensation. Keep going up toward the edge, place before cane. If your anchor is your breath, notice what's happened to your breath. Focus on breathing in the breath, smoothing the breath. Notice when the mind says, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, but you can. Go back to feeling. Straighten your leg, reach to the heel. Good. All right. Bringing that knee back for table. Come back up to your hands on table. Preparing for down dog, melt your heart. Shoulders back. And pop those hips up in your dog. Feel the feet. Notice your feet hip distance apart. And notice the sensations of your dog or your breath in the dog, whatever anchor you chose. Notice that there are opinions versus just sensing and feeling. Or noticing breath. One pointed concentration. Could be just your feet. You're focusing on your feet. Or the sensations in your arms. So I'm interrupting your conversation, your concentration just to teach in the sense of what I mean by focusing in your poses. Then walk his hands back and hang in ragdoll, releasing your head, your neck, bellies on thighs. You can grab an elbow, forearm, upper arm, whatever works. And finish getting circulation for the brain. Return to your anchor for 15 seconds. Squat down deeper, bring your hands to your thighs. Settle into chair pose. If your anchor is sensation, you might feel you're focused on your thighs or your feet. If your anchor is breath, notice where this pose, where you feel the breath in this pose. How deep the breath is, shallow, easy. You're going to very slowly pressing out. Any questions about anchoring? Concentrating the mind while we do yoga.
So are you anchoring on a specific area of the body and its sensation, or just wherever you're feeling the sensation?
When I do this, I'm being like, if I choose my practice to anchor my mind on sensations, it could be where you feel sensations the most in every pose.
Okay.
Right. Or where you feel opening the most in every pose. It could be, for me, sometimes I'll focus on noticing unnecessary tension, sensation of unnecessary tension.
Okay.
And let that go. So we're just adding some kind of awareness and concentration, dharana, to the asana, right? If you want to develop,
me, it works, if I focus on my breathing.
Yes. So
that's
why
my anchor.
Yeah. So, and that's great. Every pose affects your breath, your energy. So I wanted you to choose one, really when you focus on your breath, you get sensation along with it because you can feel the breath in the body and everything. So breath is usually the traditional anchor when we do seated meditation. And remember, we're doing meditation. Why I'm focused on meditation is because we're working with the brain. And we know that meditation increases gray matter, increases the focusing skills, the gray matter. It literally, there's one study that shows 6 hours a week of meditation literally changes the brain structure. Right? We go from the limbic brain and we expand the frontal lobe. Our ability to make decisions and live, more like evolved humans versus lizards. So it's all you or whatever you want to focus on. But what I'm trying to say is, as you go through your practice, take your focusing skills with you. We do this when we do balancing poses. We have a focal point, and we focus on one thing. But when we balance, we could also be focusing on the ankle, how strong the ankle is, what's happening with the ankle, right? So have fun with it, but try to, whatever your focus for any given moment, see if you can hold it. What's going to happen for the untrained mind is just going to blip off, blip off, blip off, blip off every 3 or 4 seconds. And then if you keep practicing dharana, concentration skills, you're going to get the ability to not blip so much. You'll blip when your life is chaotic. And then you do the focusing and life doesn't feel so chaotic. So it goes both ways. If it's chaotic, you focus. And then if you focus, life is less chaotic. Right? So just do it. Just focus. All right. So yes, Felicia's making a circle. It's all connected and it's Infinity. Okay, bring your feet as wide as a mat. Let's just wash all that out. Focusing on breath or sensation. A focal point can be, what is the pose for your whole practice? It could be, what is the pose doing to my body? Or what am I doing, to the pose? Like unnecessary tension or something, or the body. Yeah, okay. All right, let's open our hips a little bit, take the feet wide. Just do a side triangle, getting more sideward. You're open your heart, so turn your palms out. Keep those shoulder blades pulling together. Drop your right hand, your hands back to the hips, and then keeping your shoulder, your ear in line with together. Do a side. You can let your head dangle and get that extra neck stretch. If your back hurts, draw out of it. You can raise your left arm and come into side triangle, wherever that arm goes, and then use your anchor. And use your side body strength on your left side to pull up and out. Good. And do the other side, keeping your shoulders back like when you take your palms forward. And then your ear stays in line with your shoulders. It's not a forward bend. Once you get this good side stretch on your right, remember you're stretching and strengthening. You could use a focal point on the stretch or the strengthening, or your breath, whatever anchor you choose here. Coming into the full side triangle. Whatever anchor you use on one side, it's good to use the same anchor on the other side to develop awareness. Good, and when you're ready, release. Roll the shoulders. Big, exaggerated. Get those shoulder blades working. All right, so just to remind you, we have done the 6 movements of the spine. Every day we do the 6 movements of the spine. Today we did it in cat and dog kneeling. We just did the side stretches, and before that we did the twists. So you want to always do the 6 movements of the spine. Step together and just kind of warm up, march, and get the shoulders, arms, back of the arms. You're pressing the back of the arms. Feeling those triceps, Waking up, stimulating all the nerve endings in the feet, all the energy channels. And your breath. And decide for 15 seconds what you want to anchor on, even as you move. Okay. All right. So we've been working on the yoga workout. Make your feet wide again. Maybe as wide as the shoulders. And let the hips sway from side to side. Let the arms go down. Okay, so take your hands actually to the pelvis. Press down, like when the hips go left, press down on the right. You might feel your inner right groin. Press down on the left. Feel the lifting and dropping of the pelvis on each side. So remembering it's the pelvis, starting with the pelvis, it goes up to the brain. It's got to be free. You can twist the pelvis forward and back, left, right back, left forward. Twist your pelvis. Notice range of motion. The right may be able to go further forward than the left. Just notice. And then the last two movements of the pelvis, front hand on the front, one hand on the front, one hand on the back, bend your knees slightly, and then tucking the pelvis. So tuck up. As you exhale, you're going to pull the tail down, squeeze your glutes, and the pube bone goes up. You crunch the front side. When we do the workout that I'm calling a brain yoga cardio workout, we're squeezing, we're tucking really intensely to feel the work in the abs and the glutes. And when we tuck, that's always the exhalation. Okay? Focal point can be, what am I learning right now? The whole class, your whole home practice could be, what am I learning right now? Could be your whole practice. About the breath, about the pose, about the body, about my ability to focus. Okay. Okay, let's let's do our little workout. So we'll start with just a reminder of the locust pose for safety. Interlace your fingers behind if you can, squeeze your knuckles, open your heart, and open up the fronts of the shoulders. When we do this practice, we're very mindful of the shoulder blades. Work the postural muscles working. Drop your chin down and just get that extra stretch. Might feel good. And feet are in these poses, the feet here are hip distance apart. Take your hands to the sacrum, press your sacrum down. Lift your heart. Shift the weight to the left foot and take your right toe back. Squeeze your glutes. So remember, when you do this work, when your hands go up, you want this sense of the ribs still stay in and the tail goes down. You're engaged, so you don't wreck your back. And your hands, you might slump if they go straight forward, so you might have to bring your hands wider. And bring the hands down and back again. Do the sacrum. Let's do the other side, becoming aware of what you got on this side. Shift the weight to the right foot. Ask your body to balance, lifting onto your left toes. And then take the toes back, stretch those toes. Lift your heart, toes are tucked. Ribs come in, tail goes down, pubum goes up toward your navel. It's a crunch. You're trying to keep your core. Stabilize your hip bones squared forward. Lift up your hands and just notice where would be safe hands for this practice, where you don't feel it in your low back. You're not rounding your upper back. Good. And come back. All right. Standing with feet hip distance apart. Gonna tap out to the right and get a little bounce there. And come back. And left and bounce. Keep your heart upright. Your core engaged. My glutes. See, then I can feel the glute over here. All right. And back and forth. And add your arms like jumping jacks. Brain gym, right? Up you go. Up you go. As much as you can bring the arms up and even touch your hands. You remember you're doing at home, if you're working on this practice, you're doing 10 and working up to sets of 4 or 5, so 40 to 50 of each pose once or twice a day. If you look at the videos, the teacher that does this, you can see her diminish her middle and her back and everything. Right after that, you're going to do what we just did. So take your right foot back and raise your arms and come back and bounce a little bit. Have a little spring in your step. Doing each side. Make sure your arms are up when your foot goes back. Arms are up and foot goes back. Yeah. Okay. Breathe. Did you use your breath maybe as an anchor? For me, the greatest sensation, if you're working on with that anchor, is my shoulders. Yes. Okay. Now let's add some brain gym here. Take the opposite, the right foot back, the left arm up. Remember the cross crawl and the opposite. And keep going. Tap your thigh. Tap your thigh when your arms come down. Good. And then back to both. Breathing. Strong. Remember the work here, we're trying to get the breath so strong It helps our lymphatic system, which helps the brain lymph. And then go back to one leg back and the opposite arm up. Work that brain. Left and right hemispheres of the brain. All right, and release. Okay, so eventually you start without even thinking about, like, see if you can switch back and forth to both arms and different arms without your brain blipping. The more you do it, you'll be able to focus and get that mind-body connection that way. All right, we got to keep going. We got to get, if your heart's not racing, you got to do more breath, more breath.
Is,
What?
it is,
Oh, good, good. Okay, feet now are more wide. And your arms are in cactus. You're going to tuck and, like a cattail, squeeze your elbows toward or touching. And then using those shoulder blades, like we talked about, use your shoulder blades to go to dog toe. Exhale, in, tuck. Inhale, out, squeeze shoulders. Exhale, the pelvis is leading the way here. Cinch that front side. Squeeze your glutes as you crunch. Find your pace that feels right. I want to see that pelvis. Some of you move more. If you do nothing but your pelvis, do the pelvis. That's it. And then from here, we take it up. And again, it could be wide and down. Your ribs may come up, but don't crunch your low back and squeeze. Big, strong breaths all through the nose. Tuck that tail, squeeze those belly in and up. Last two. Now, just do your hands. You can, and your pelvis can do the work too. You can clap your hands. If you want to get more chest or lifting of the chest, squeeze your hands together and try to lift. Cross your hands, one hand and the other. Tuck the pelvis when the hands go forward. Okay. Do you feel it in your shoulders? So you're going to slim all the way around here. Side body, slimming your love handles. You're going to take feet maybe shoulder width or so apart again. Hands coming cactus. And you can point your index finger, that gives you more energy. And feel the pelvis shift like we did earlier. And then next time you shift to the right, use your side muscles to crunch. And the other side must feel the crunching on the left and right side stretching. And then you just go. Strong breaths through the nose. Try to keep your hands in by your ears. Your elbows by your ears. So you got the perfect side stretch. So make sure the hip, elbow come together. It's like wagging your tail, side stretch. Good. Whittle away. And last one. So this one I like to get off my mat. So I just took my back, I just folded the, if you're on carpet, you gotta be on carpet. Otherwise it might be too much on your feet. Yeah. And remember how we smudge the feet? Smudge the feet. See how it twists? So smudging grounds us.
Are you smudging on your heels or the ball of your foot?
I'm going up, like I'm a little going up and down, up and down. I'm still staying grounded as best I can. You can be on your toes, but I like just a little toe, heel, toe, heel. Does that make sense? Yeah. And then the actual practice for the brain gym and finishing our 6 movements of spine for the brain gym workout is take a left to right, your toes stay on the floor, feet are hip distance, and then your hands can be in fists, not too tight, and then you cross center line. And you can straighten your arms or keep them like the back, like when your left knee is crossing, I think, let's see, the left knee is crossing, the left hand goes back. Yeah. And you can work those muscles here. Try to see if you can feel the Queen's wave muscles. And it's like a little ditty. Like, you know, like when children get excited, it's like, oh, oh. So you're moving your pelvis like we did in our practice. Think about moving the pelvis around center line. Some of you are just moving the whole body. I want your chest forward and move the hips. Chest at the move your hips. And a way to get that is turning. Bring your hands up, steeple pose. So when you do the twist, have a sense of the pelvis. Your chest stays forward, your shoulders stay forward, your hips turn. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah. And that really gives you an idea of how much stuckness you have in your pelvis. More stuck in the pelvis, less brain energy. Okay. Did you learn anything?
Oh, yes.
What? You're stiff?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the more you do it, that's the only way out. The only way out is through. So find your eye bags, your cover-ups, and come and sit on a blanket and have a block handy. Oh, just one level of a blanket are at the most folded ones. Oh. Remember the brain buttons? Hold your navel or press your fingers into your navel with your right hand. Take your left hand, cross the sternum under, fingers pulse, not the whole hand. The fingers push in and try to massage the places between the ribs. little circles, and I'm also pummeling my fingers to try to massage and loosen up this area. Soft tissue under the clavicle. For 20 to 30 seconds or until the tenderness is released. This activates our brain buttons, sending messages from the right brain hemisphere to the left, stimulating the carotid artery for increased blood supply to the brain. You can cross your right hand now over further to the left and circle bottom and right, or massaging there. I go out further under the collarbone because there's a lot of stuck tissue and tension. If you're a shallow breather, if you're stressed, there's a lot of tension. The more you do this, the less tender it will be. Okay, let's do the other side of the brain. We'll take the left hand to the navel, holding the navel. The right hand goes on the left side of the sternum, finding the tissue there under the collarbone, in between the ribs. I like to do right under the collarbone first. Crossing the midline helps people with reading. The correction of letter and number reversals. Then go cross to the right of the navel and finish massaging. And relax your neck and shoulders. Stimulates the carotid arteries that supply freshly oxygenated blood to the brain. Okay. And then just finish here with what we did in the beginning of class. We're taking interlacing the fingers all the way down to the webbing. The webbing is where all the nerve endings are that feed all your organs. So we raised energy and now we're stimulating this, so it's going to go all to the organs. So at home, 30 like this. You can do it when you're waiting on tea or water to boil. Cross. Notice which index finger's on top, and uncross and cross the other index finger on top, and do it that way. And breathe. Be here present, developing concentration by just feeling this or your breath. Now do your thumbs. You're going to have one palm forward, one palm back or down. They're kind of, let's say your right thumb is up. Your left thumb is palms parallel to the floor. Relax your shoulders, keep the breath flowing. Now notice the direction you're going to switch. So the right thumb down, left thumb parallel. There are so many nerve endings right here for your eyes. It helps with headaches. It helps so much. And even if you're not going to do all the webbings between all the fingers, get the pinkies, because those kind of don't get stimulated. So just the webbing at the pinkies. and the other way. So you want a nice, a nice hit there to stimulate the nerves. And now my other fingers are saying, I want my whips tattoo individually. So do the others, do the pinkies, just a little bit, just to say they're like mine were talking. It was like, okay, so I'm focusing on the sensation and my hands are going, no, I got to do all the weapons individually. So pay attention. Your body will tell you what it needs. And then the thumbs again. And shaking out. Shake, shake, shake. And then spread your legs wide. Bring your hands behind you. Wow, one of my hamstrings is very different from the other. Some of you may be leaning back to have a straight spine. Some of you can walk forward until you feel one of the hamstrings say, that's your edge. And then when you get there, just bring your chin to the chest. And just let it drop. You don't have to do anything, but just be present. Relaxing tight muscles, the neck and spine, improves blood circulation to the brain. Some of you may be able to go deeper in your forward fold. Forward bends, relax the mind. Helps remove negative emotions like irritability and anger. Keep going inside. Ready. And then just press down, lift back up if you're forward. Grab your eye bags, your cover-ups. Come to your back. When you get on your back, just stretch out the back just a little bit and rocking double knee squeeze. Let your head release heavy and the neck relax. So you're not holding your head, you're letting everything relax. Your anchor might be the sensations of the massage. Or your breath, how it flows in this pose. Slower we go, the easier it is to practice dharana, concentration skills. And when you feel complete with this nurturing work, go ahead and come to your final pose. And cover up. The corpse, the legs up, whatever works for you. Once you get down, feel the sensations of the body melting into the support. Take a deep breath. Sip in a little more. Feel the tension as you exhale, sink down, let your muscles go, your bones. And to concentrate the mind, simply be aware of the breath. The natural breath, no control, just the breath coming in and out of the body. Your anchor or focal point could be the breath coming in and out of the nose, or the chest, or the belly. Focus the mind on the breath. One pointed concentration. Dharana. Dharana. Do not let focusing bring tension. Relax with each exhalation. And as you wish, letting the concentration practice fall away as you rest and restore for the next few moments of Shavasana. Becoming aware of your breath again. Aware of the body, sensations of the body lying on the support. Being breathed. Aware of what is here now. And to come, to awaken, deepen your breath. Begin to move small parts first, fingers, wiggling toes, circling wrists, ankles, turn your head. Eventually taking the arms up overhead, giving yourself a full body stretch and a yawn, releasing any tension from the feet. And good delicious stretch. And bending knees, rolling to side child. Take 3 breaths there. Snuggling up with yourself. And then to come up, extend the top leg, use your arms to push yourself up to a comfortable seat. And bringing your hands to Anjali Mudra. Feeling this connection, so your focal point, your one-pointed concentration can be how the hands and the heart feel connected. As concentration deepens, serenity, equanimity, and clear seeing arise naturally. So Joseph LePage, one of my teachers, author of the Mudra book, as concentration deepens, serenity, equanimity, and clear seeing arise naturally. May this speak true for you. May you see clearly. Be serene and equanimous more often. And we wish this for others as well. Perhaps having the intention to focus more on your concentration skills throughout your day as a practice, or your practice, your yoga. Sealing your intentions, honoring your heart light, with the bell to your heart. Lifting eyes, honoring the heart lights of each other while wishing each other with namaste. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you so much for coming to Monday Morning Yoga.